Please be advised Mental Health Mondays deals with some heavy topics and subjects, such as mental health, suicide, sexual assault, and more. Please listen at your own discretion and please seek professional help if you are struggling. Thank you and enjoy the episode. Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another Mental Health Mondays. I do apologise you had nothing last week. I kind of needed a break and honestly I was going to take another one this week. But I thought, what is the purpose of having a podcast about mental health if I'm not going to talk about it? So here I am talking about it. Lucky you lot. I don't even know where to begin. Let's see. A lot of things have contributed to it the past week or two. And today, on the day of recording, has been absolutely no different. So let's just start at the start. I found out my grandfather, who has had multiple different types of cancers, as well as heart bypasses and all that sort of stuff, might have cancer again. So there's that. Been dealing with that for a week. He lives in another state to me and travelled down when he really shouldn't have because he actually also just got over COVID. And because of that, his lungs are fucked because he might be lung cancer and it's a whole mess in itself. So there's that. Then on top of that, oh God. Because of experiences growing up and because of certain things I've gone through, I've noticed I get extra weary when it comes to what people say about me. And don't get me wrong, a lot of the time I don't give a shit what people say, but say it to my face. And I think it's really pathetic and really sad that as we get older, we don't mature. Like everyone's like, okay, you know, as you get older, you mature and things change. And it's like, well, do we though? Do we really? Like, take social media as an example. Each platform is like its own high school. Like Twitter, you've got the communities within Twitter, but then there's those niches within the communities and everyone sticks to their own little bubble and it is what it is. And it's the same with Instagram. People will follow, you know, the same sort of niches that they want to follow, that they would have followed in school or other people. But you would think being almost 30, I would be able to handle that better. I'd be able to handle the petty bullshit and the absolute chaos that life continues to throw at me. And I've realised after the past week that that's not the case. Because of the way my mind works, as soon as I get a feeling, a hint, an inkling that someone is saying something about me behind my back, I spiral. I spiral bad. I will go through so many different scenarios in my head as to who said what and why and what does it mean. And 9 times out of 10, no one's even fucking said anything. I could walk past someone and they could say hi the wrong way and my mind will go, what the fuck did I do to them? Why are they acting like this? And it could literally just be that person's having a bad day. But I won't look into that. I look into it thinking it's me and only me. I put so much blame on myself for so many different things that it gets to a point where it's like, in my head, it's like, well, what haven't I done? Because I've done everything. There's a mark on the wall. I've never seen that wall before, but I've done it. Someone said hi to me the wrong way. I must have pissed them off. My mum kicking me out of home. I must have been a bad child. But that's not always the case. And I think there's a lot of times we need to take a step back and look at the wider picture and understand that there are so many other circumstances as to why a certain thing has happened. And some of them will have absolutely nothing to do with you. No matter how hard you are on yourself and no matter what happens, it's just the way life is and it's just the way people are. You know, I've pushed people away. I've lost friends because I'll go into such a dark spiral that I'll insist on the fact that they're lying to me when they tell me it has nothing to do with me. I'll be so convinced that it is me that I will push people away by telling them they're lying to me when they say I've done nothing wrong. That in itself is fucked. I've lost relationships. I've lost friendships. I've lost family. And in a way, it's like, how self-centered can one person be to think it all revolves around them? But there's so much more to it than that. And I think sometimes when you see other people reacting that way, or you can tell something's wrong, just be there for them and listen. I've said similar stuff like this to people in the past, and they're just like, well, you're a selfish bitch and no one wants to be around you for that reason. And it's like, well, I don't mean to be. It might be selfish. It might not be in the circumstances, but all I want and all we need is for people to be more open-minded and to listen. That's all it takes, is to just sit and listen. So to those people who probably aren't even listening to this, but in the off chance they are, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I called you liars. I'm sorry I pushed you away. I'm just sorry. There's a lot of instances where I could have been a better friend because my mental health and anxiety got in the way. And I know and I understand that sometimes you can't help that, but some people didn't deserve the way I spoke or the way I reacted. And for that, I am truly sorry. Mental health is such a tricky thing. It affects everyone differently. It hits everyone differently. It lasts longer to some people than others. Just goes to show that the brain is an incredible thing, and we all have our coping mechanisms. It's unfortunate that some people's work better than others, but that shouldn't discourage you from venturing out and looking down other avenues of help. It's something that's affected me. I've said this time and time again. It's something that's affected me most of, if not all of my life. Just the thought of me walking back into the office for work will make me shake because I'm so nervous to walk in and have to deal with people. Or I'm so aware or subconscious of how people are going to view me or see me. I know a lot of people bring that down to, you're a girl, you care what you look like sort of thing, but that's such bullshit. I know so many guys who feel the same way. And a lot of it comes down to how we view ourselves because of how others have viewed us in the past. My mother was the kind of person where looks were everything. Real or fabricated, looks were everything. From the outside in, we looked like a cute little family and, so perfect, and my mum had antiques in the house and were well-behaved kids and everyone loved everyone, but it was such bullshit. She was the kind of person who would quite literally smack food out of my hands at a birthday party, and I'm talking kids' birthday parties. So I was kicked out at 14, 15, and so everything I relate to or reference is before then. So I think I was about 7 at the time. At a friend's birthday, but the friend was a neighbour, so all the parents were there as well. And, we're eating party food as we do as kids. And I wasn't a chubby kid or anything. Not that you should need to worry about your weight at the age of 7, but I was fine. But my mum saw me reaching for, I think it was some candy, maybe? I don't quite remember. I was reaching for something, and she was... Of course, she was sitting right next to the table of party food. Because, that's the only seat available, but really it's to monitor what I was doing. And I was just about to put it in my mouth, and she smacked my hand so hard, I dropped what I was holding, and my hand was throbbing for the rest of the day. I saw other people look at it and see it, and not a single person said anything. When I asked my mum why she did that, she told me that I was eating too much and the last thing I'd want is to put on weight because no one likes an ugly girl. And that was one of many times that she had done that. I remember at my cousin's engagement party, my cousin married into a massive Sri Lankan family, so there was a lot of people at the engagement party. And I would have been about maybe 12. And there was a guy there who claimed to have had money and wealth in the background, and as soon as my mum hears money, she's all over it. Now this guy, he said he was, I think, 30, if I remember correctly, 30, 31. And my mum would force me to dance with him because she thought if I got in with him at the age of 12, 13, then I could marry into money and her problems would be solved. Now, I'm 5'9". I've been this tall most of my life, like since I was probably about 10. I was a really tall, like I had a really big growth spurt, and I've always looked, at least back then, I always looked older than what I was. By no means did I look 30, but I looked a little bit closer to 16, 17. So regardless, it was gross if he had gone along with it regardless. But in my mum's mind, it was okay, because if I looked older, I could play off it being older, which meant I could play off on being closer to 18. Which means if I got married to someone rich, then I would be married into money and she would have money, which would fuel her alcohol addiction and all her other worries, according to her. I spent my life arguing back with people and defending my childhood. I spent defending my mum because I didn't know any different. I got hit, whacked, pushed. One of her many boyfriends told me I was too ugly to be in photos. There's a few other things that happened that I'm going to dive into a separate episode. That's specific topics. But the main point is, as I'm sure with most of us, I've dealt with rumors and people saying stuff about me and my family most of my life. And then when the tables were turned and my mum pushed me out the front door and said that I was not her daughter anymore, because I didn't take her side in an argument against my dad about child support and rent, or money in general. I had so many more rumors and things said about me, especially being in school, that I just get so defensive and I spiral so fast when it happens now, because I'm like, I haven't said anything, I haven't done anything, so what would be the purpose for spreading the rumors? Or for me thinking someone is spreading rumors or talking about me? With how easy I spiral, it just makes everything so much harder. The thought process I go through. I will sit and think about something for days on end. Days. It could be the slightest thing said to me and I will think about that for days. It would consume me. Still to this day. I could think I've done something at work and I will be thinking about that for a week, and that's just a start. It could be something as simple as I spelt someone's name wrong or I sent an email to the wrong person. And that's exactly what's happened now. As I sit here and record this, someone said something to me and I still don't know what they meant by it. But it could quite easily be nothing. And instead of, I did try to talk to them and I didn't get much out of it. But instead of me just being like, so what? Who cares? Fuck it, move on. Because it really doesn't mean anything. I'm sitting here dwelling on it, talking to a podcast about it, talking on my own podcast about it. And how much this is affecting my mental health. I'm sitting here supposed to be working and instead I am pouring my feelings out to God knows how many people who actually listen to this and randoms who don't know me. But yet here I am. And I said this on the very first episode. I want to be vulnerable and I want to be truthful. And so rather than running away for another week, and still I will be dealing with my bullshit, but I'm here to tell you that we all have our issues and concerns, and no one is perfect, but don't let others get you down. Don't let them influence you or how you think you should think. Everyone is different, and everyone reacts different, and everyone experiences things differently. This is just me and how I feel and how my mind works. It could be very different to yours. It could be the same as yours. But regardless, we still need to be there for each other. So with that being said, I am probably going to go dwell on this bullshit some more. And honestly, after talking about some shit about my mum just a second ago, I'm probably going to go dwell on that as well. Because that's how my mind works. Yay! So, like I said before, I want this to be real and I want it to be raw. It's not scripted, which is probably why a lot of it doesn't even make sense. I'm just speaking whatever I feel and whatever I think. If it's not coherent, if it's a bit all over the place, I do apologize. I really do apologize, because it's not what I intend to do. You know, like with the interviews, I tried to be thoughtful and coherent and clear and helpful. But with these solo ones, it's almost like it's my own therapy, and you guys are just along for the ride. Now, that could be a good thing or a bad thing. You guys could hate it. You guys could love it. I could lose followers. I could gain followers or listeners. But to be honest, I just don't care. I said to myself I was going to be raw and I was going to be vulnerable, and here I am being raw and vulnerable. Vulnerable. Can't even say the word. So with that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and this doesn't get anyone down, and that you conquer the world. Be you, be proud to be you, and conquer the world as you. So that's enough from me, and I'll see you probably in a week. Bye, everyone. Thank you for listening to Mental Health Mondays. If you or anyone you know has a story to tell, whether that is mental health related or even just an anecdote for my other episode in the week, Sweet and Sour Nuggies, please get in touch with us via email or via our social links. You can find us on both Twitter and Instagram at SS Nuggiez Pod. That is SSNUGGIEZ Pod. Or you can email us at nuggiespod@gmail.com. Once again, this has been your host Ebony, and thank you for listening.